Oh, yeah. Now I will begin with the word. Okay, the word in the passage in the commentary on the middle written by Tsongkhapa. Okay, see here when Chandrakirti describes the 10 grounds, the very joyful and so forth, as 10 mind generations. He is referring to ultimate mind generations. Okay, see here in the root text, Madhyamaka Avatara. In the root text, Madhyamaka Avatara, Chandrakirti describes 10 bhumis or 10 grounds. Okay, when his description or presentation about 10 grounds is based upon 10 ultimate mind generations. Okay, 10 ultimate mind generations. Okay, that means when we say 10 ultimate mind generations or 10 I think ultimate I think 10 ultimate mind generation. Okay, when I say okay, it's very easy for listeners, okay, or for us to recognize that when he was presenting when easily recognize that we can easily recognize that when he is saying that the description about the 10 grounds. Okay, I think let me describes the 10 grounds, the very joyful and so forth, as 10 mind generations. He is referring to 10 mind generation. Okay, he is referring to ultimate mind generations. Okay, because if you say just 10 mind generations, it could be conventional 10 mind generations. Okay, if it is in the case of 10 conventional mind generations, okay, then it is how to say it would be very how to say it would be very ambiguous, okay, ambiguous, okay, whether he is ambiguous as to he is presenting about 10 different levels of grounds, or just 10 different 10 different conventional conventional mind generations. Okay, when we say 10 different conventional mind generations, then it is it doesn't imply 10 bhumis or 10 grounds of superior beings. Okay, so if you say 10 ultimate mind generations, okay, and then it would be very, very clear that when he was talking about 10 mind generations in his 10 chapters within Madhyamaka Avatara, in But in 10th chapter, in 10 chapters within the Madhyamaka Avatar, okay, it is very easy. Oh yeah, when he was presenting about 10 different mind generations, he must be pointing out to 10 ultimate, okay, mind generations. Otherwise, it would be very, it would be unclear, okay, as to what exactly he is presenting about, okay. So therefore, in order to make it more clear, okay, and more definite, okay, as to what he is talking about, or what as to what he is presenting, okay. So therefore, he is referring to ultimate mind generations, okay. So if you say ultimate mind generation, 10 ultimate mind generation, then the first ultimate mind generation is included included, I think, on first ground, okay, and also the second ultimate mind generation is belonged to the second ground, and so on and so forth. So therefore, it would be very clear that when he was talking about 10 mind generations, he was talking about 10 ultimate mind generations. Okay, so this is one of the main things that we need to remind of, I think. And then, okay, then with respect to the nature of the 10 grounds, okay, with respect to the nature of the 10 grounds, okay, not only when he says, okay, when Chandrakriti was outlining the general feature of the grounds, okay, he outlines in terms of I think unpolluted, I think, wisdom, unpolluted. Also, what do you call? What is this? The wisdom, I think, wisdom of meditative equipoise. Okay, wisdom of meditative equipoise. Okay, yeah. Okay. This is one thing that when he says 10 mind generations, he is clearly referring to ultimate mind generations. Okay, so therefore, with respect to the nature of the 10 grounds, which are assigned to ultimate mind generations, Chandrakriti commentary says, when a Bodhisattva was uncontaminated wisdom, conjoined with compassion and so forth, is divided into parts. Oh yeah, here. Uncontaminated wisdom, okay. Uncontaminated wisdom, or wisdom of meditative equipoise, okay. Conjoined with compassion and so forth, is divided into parts. Each part is called a ground because it is a base of qualities. The four topics by which the grounds are explained are their nature first, the qualities with which they are thoroughly conjoined. Second, the third one is the way they are called grounds, and the fourth one is the etymological meaning. Okay. In accordance with Vasubandhu's treasure of manifest knowledge, Abhidhamsha, some persons, okay, such as Jaya Aninda, and some Tibetans, okay, explain the nature of uncontaminated wisdom as uncontaminated in the sense of not being amenable to the increase of contaminations. Okay. So Here, okay, persons such as Jayananda and some Tibetan scholars explain the nature of uncontaminated wisdom in this context as uncontaminated in the sense of not being amenable to the increase of afflictive emotions. Here, contaminations means afflictive emotions, okay. So, uncontaminated in the sense of not being amenable to the increase of afflictive emotions, okay. This is, they have not understood the uncommon meaning of uncontaminated in this system, okay. So, this, the meaning of the uncontaminated is wrong, okay. Here, okay, the meaning they posited is wrong because okay, whatever that is amenable to the increase of contaminations, okay, or the afflicted emotions, I mean, okay, is not, is not, I mean, I should say, okay, being amenable to the increase of afflicted emotions and I think, and contamination or contaminated, okay, contaminated phenomena, okay, contaminated phenomena, okay, are not, how to say, are not exactly the same, okay, because they do not mutually pervade each other. For instance, okay, if you, for example, for instance, that inference of the emptiness of the emptiness of inherent existence is, okay, is contaminated wisdom, okay, or contaminated phenomenon, but it is not an amenable, it is not amenable to the increase of afflictive emotions, okay, because it is the antidote to afflictive emotions, okay, it is the main and primary antidote to afflictive emotions. Therefore, that inference is not amenable to the increase of afflictive emotions, okay. So therefore, their meaning, therefore, what they, therefore, the meaning they posited or they asserted is, is quite wrong, okay. So not only that, but also they have not understood the uncommon meaning of uncontaminated in this system, okay. In our own system, the contaminated is anything polluted by either ignorance, the conception of true existence, or its predisposing latencies. The uncontaminated is wisdom, free from those pollutions, okay. So here, uncontaminated wisdom. What is the meaning of uncontaminated wisdom, okay? That means the wisdom that is free from, okay, that is free from, the conception of true existence and as well as its predisposing latencies, okay. Okay, so the uncontaminated, the meaning of uncontaminated wisdom is wisdom which is free from the pollutions of, I think, free from the pollutions of, I think, conception of true existence and the latencies of ignorance. As Chandrakirti clear words says, I think. So, okay, now when we say this, okay, free from, okay, for instance, okay, the wisdom of meditative equipoise, that is, that meditative equipoise, realizing directly, realizing, I think, that realizes emptiness directly, okay, is free, I think, from conception of true existence, as well as latencies of ignorance, okay, latencies of ignorance, okay, and okay, see, if such and such, okay, consciousness is, how to say, polluted by latencies of ignorance, okay, then such and such consciousness, then okay, it should be, it should be like, then I think I think, like, okay, then I think the true, I think, true existence, okay, or inherent existence should I think appear to those consciousness, okay. So whether or not such and such consciousness is polluted by latency of ignorance is determined by whether or not it is, okay, whether or not the appearance of, whether or not, I think, is determined, I think, is determined, that it is determined by whether or not having appearance of, I think, ignorance, I mean, appearance of inherent existence, okay. If such and such consciousness has the appearance of inherent existence, then those consciousness are polluted by latency of ignorance, okay. So, okay, so, okay. So here, okay, being polluted, okay. And yeah, okay, I think, okay. For instance, I think you can say the common beings, okay, common beings, okay. In the case of common beings, okay, and also in the case of Bodhisattvas who are on the first ground, and also on the second and third, and up to the seventh ground, okay. When they, when they, how to say, when their mind or consciousness, okay, arises, okay, with respect to, I think, with respect to, I think, apprehending conventional phenomena, okay. All of those, consciousness, okay, retain appearance of inner existence, okay? Because all of those consciousness are contaminated both by, I think contaminated by both ignorance as well as latencies of ignorance, okay? Whereas when it comes to, when it comes to the consciousness of Bodhisattvas on the 8th ground and 9th and 10th ground, and also to the 4 destroyers or hearers and solitary realizers. Realizers, okay. When they, look at, okay. When they look at, I think, okay, conventional phenomena, okay. They're conventional. The conventional phenomena would, conventional phenomena appear, okay, as inherently existent to those consciousness, okay. But in this case, I think their consciousness are not polluted by ignorance, but they are polluted only by latencies of ignorance, okay. Because all of these, beings have already eradicated seeds of afflicted emotions. So here, I think when we say they're polluted by ignorance, okay, polluted by ignorance, and also, I think, see, conjoined with, okay, there's some similarity, but they're different. See, as I said earlier, okay, being conjoined with means having having influences and effect, I think, once having, okay, the effects or influence on the other, okay. Once effect and influence are on the other, okay. So therefore, if you therefore, okay, these, okay, for instance, okay, for instance, great compassion observing the non-apprehendable in the continuums of common being bodhisattvas, okay. If you say, okay, if you put a question regarding this, okay, that particular compassion, okay, whether that particular compassion is polluted by ignorance or not, we would say, yes, it is polluted by ignorance as well as the latencies of ignorance, but it is not conjoined with ignorance, okay. Since it is directly conjoined with wisdom realizing emptiness, okay. So okay, then effect, we say effect, and what is influence, okay. The influence and effect of wisdom realizing emptiness are on the compassion observing the unapprehendable, okay. That means, okay, that means due to that means I think that means I think okay. The person I think the person okay that Bodhisattva that that Bodhisattva I think that Bodhisattva is okay, how to say, qualifying okay sentient beings by the emptiness of inherent existence, okay, and then due to that I think the emptiness of inherent existence of sentient beings appears through that very great compassion. So therefore, that is the mode of, that is the mode, or that is I think that is the mode of, well, that is how I think the influence and effect of wisdom realizing emptiness is having on the great compassion, observing the unapprehendable. Okay. So, whereas, okay, even though, okay, that great compassion, okay, observing the non-apprehendable is polluted by ignorance, okay, that very compassion is not considered to be conjoined with ignorance, okay. Because its influence and effect is not, how to say, its influence and effect are not disturbing, okay, or affecting, or how to say, we are distorting maybe, or disturbing, okay. So therefore, is it clear? Okay, let me say this, okay. The influence of ignorance, and effect and influence of ignorance cannot and are not disturbing the great compassion, observing the non-apprehendable. Okay, so therefore, this ignorance, innate ignorance, is considered not to be conjoined with. No, therefore, great compassion, observing the non-apprehendable, is considered not to be conjoined with innate ignorance. Okay, so I think this is okay. Then, okay, clear word says, not from the viewpoint of the nature of objects of the uncontaminated wisdom, in those free from the obscurations of ignorance. Before achieving Buddhahood, okay, a mind that is not polluted by predisposing latencies of ignorance is none other than the non-conceptual wisdom of the meditative equipoise of superiors. It is alternating, okay, in the sense that when superiors rise from meditative equipoise, they become polluted by predisposing latencies, okay, up to and on the seventh, okay, up to and on the seventh ground. Pollution can occur through ignorance. However, of bodhisattvas on the eighth ground, as well as for hearers and solitary realizer for destroyers, polluting ignorance has been extinguished. Therefore, pollution occurs for them not by way of ignorance, but through predisposing latencies of ignorance. Okay. In his commentary, Chandakriti says that the first ground is called called non-dualistic wisdom. This refers to the lack of a dualistic appearance of object and subject, as if distant and cut off from each other. It does not refer to a wisdom that has merely abandoned the two extremes. Okay. The books of the Master Chandrakirti contain many references to knowledge and wisdom free from the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, it would be an extremely deprecating denial to link ignorance and the predisposing latencies of ignorance with all knowledge and propound that according to this master's system, wisdom disappears when ignorance and its predispositions are extinguished. Okay. These explanations are on a par with the further Mimamsaka's assertion that if the pollution were extinguished, so would be the mind. Okay. Saying that there's no wisdom in superior meditative equipoise is also similar. Okay. Nagarjuna's, I think up to this should be clear. Okay. Nagarjuna's precious garland says, thereby those who see thus are liberated. Okay, this is now proof, I think. Proof. See, the proponent of this proponent says that the obscurations and mind are coexistent, and coexistent, and they cannot be, how to say, separated. Okay, this is their assertion. Okay, so so saying that there's no wisdom in superior meditative equipoise is also similar. Okay, so here, if those the obscurations and mind are coexistent, and they're if they're mutually mutually inclusive, they are ever mutually, they believe that mind and obscurations are obscurations or obstructions to liberation are mutually inclusive. If the obscuration or obstruction to liberation is extinguished, mind should be also extinguished to them. So therefore, so therefore that assertion is wrong. That assertion is wrong. See here, here. Some Tsongkhapa is citing some source in terms of disproving that such assertion is right. Thereby those who see thus are liberated. What sees? Conventionally, it is said to be the mind. See here, conventionally, it is said to be the mind. So in this case, it clearly shows that mind is existent. Conventionally, it is said to be the mind. So the mind is accepted as a subject which sees ultimate nature of reality. By what functioning of a subject is suchness directly seen? By what functioning of a subject is suchness directly seen? In answer to this question, so by what functioning of a subject is suchness directly seen? In answer to this question, Nagarjuna says that conventionally, the mind sees suchness directly. Also, is trace of the element of attribute says, when a stone garment, I think, when a stone garment, which has become stained with contaminations and is to be cleansed by fire, is put in fire, its stains are burnt, but it is not. So with regard to the mind of clear light, which has the stains of desire and so forth, its stains are burnt by wisdom's fire, but not clear light. Okay. When the dirty garment woven from threads of stone is put in a fire, its stains are burned away, but not the garment. Similarly, when the stains of the mind are burnt by the fire of wisdom, the stains are burnt, but the mind of clear light does not become non-existence. Here, clear light refers to mind itself. Okay, mind itself is regarded clear light here. Okay, because clearly in the sense, clear light in the sense that the mind is here. Mind is okay. When you here, okay, when here the term clear light refers to mind. Okay, because mind is in a sense clear light. Okay, means that whatever defilement or whatever obscurations maintains within it are adventitious. Okay, adventitious can be removed by antidotes. So therefore, mind is clear light. Okay, Vesava. Okay. Yeah. Okay. A Bodhisattva, okay, superiors wisdom of meditative equipoise and that belonging to hearer and solitary realizers. Superiors are similar since they directly realize the nature of phenomena and are devoid of pollution by the predisposing latencies of ignorance. However, the differences that cause one and not the other to be described as a Bodhisattva superior ground are that the one is influenced by, okay, great compassion and possesses the powers of the 1200 features and so forth. Okay, whereas the other does not. Also, as explained earlier, there is a great difference as to whether or not direct cognition of suchness occurs from extending one's mind to the profound meaning of emptiness during the paths of accumulation and preparation through the use of limitless forms of reasoning pertaining to the meaning of suchness, the true selflessness. Okay. Okay. Chandrakirti's statement, when divided into parts, refers to the individual grounds that are the earlier and later parts of the one uncontaminated wisdom, the whole. Okay. Here, whole refers to the continuum of the uncontaminated wisdom. Okay, divided into individual stages. A ground, I think, is like the earth because it acts as a source or base of auspicious qualities. These points indicate that all 10 ultimate grounds are assigned as only non-conceptual wisdoms. Okay. Though they are similar, individual grounds such as very joyful are posited. And this is done from 4 points of view. Okay. Okay. They are similar, though they are similar, okay, in terms of I think realizing emptiness, okay, directly. in terms of directly realizing emptiness, they are similar. Okay, all of these 10 ultimate grounds are similar. But individual grounds, such as the very joyful, are posited, okay, established from 4 points of view. Okay, the first feature is that the first ground has 12 sets of 100 qualities. Okay, that I think I can read it. The second ground has 12 sets of 1,000 qualities, and so forth. And as will be explained later, okay, the number of qualities increase progressively. Okay, so here I think it's a footnote. 12 says, I think I don't need to read this. Okay, okay, I will jump over. Okay, now 10th, a number equal to the particles of an inexpressible number of Buddha lands. Okay, the second feature is, okay, now the second feature, okay, is these will be, okay, explained in detail later on. Okay, so therefore now the second feature, the first feature will be explained in detail later on. Okay, but now the second feature is the attainment of greater and greater majesty of power. Though this is explained by Jayananda as vibrating 100 lands, 1,000 lands, and so forth, such as included in the increase of the number of qualities. So it's kind of redundant. So therefore, this feature should be taken as the increase higher and higher of the power for purifying the stains of the individual grounds, and the power for advancing. Okay, now where's the, yeah, okay, now the third feature is here. The third feature is a surpassing perfection of giving on the first ground, ethics on the second ground, and so on. Okay, here, okay, the patience on the third, effort on the fourth, concentration on the fifth, wisdom on the sixth, skill in means on the seventh, prayer wishes on the eighth, power on the ninth, and exalted wisdom on the 10th. The fourth feature is the higher and higher increase of birds of fruition. On the first ground, bird is as a king ruling Zambudeva. On the second, as a king ruling the 4 continents, and so forth. Okay, so okay. So okay, now as a king ruling the, okay, so forth, as a king ruling the land of the 33 on the third ground, the land without combat on the fourth, the joyous land on the fifth, the land of liking emanation on the sixth, of controlling others' emanations on the seventh, as a great Brahma, Lord of 1,000 worlds on the eighth, as a great Brahma, Lord of 1,000,000 worlds on the ninth, and as the Devaputra, Maheshvara of the highest land on the 10th. Okay, since the non-conceptual wisdoms of the individual grounds vary greatly in terms of inferior and superior abilities, such as the number of qualities that are present, individual grounds are posited. Okay. The grounds should not be understood as just meditative equipoise. Okay, okay. The grounds, these 10 grounds should not be understood as just meditative equipoise, because the features subsequent to meditative equipoise that exist on each ground are included in that particular ground. Okay, the mode of division into individual grounds should be understood as explained the mode of division into individual grounds should be understood, explained. It is impossible to divide these ultimate grounds by making a differentiation in terms of their object of observation or aspect. The sutra on the 10 grounds says, just as the wise cannot express or the trail of any bird across the sky, so none of the grounds of conqueror children can be expressed. Then how can one listen? Though a bird crosses the sky, the wise of the world cannot describe its its trail in speech, or see it with their minds. In the same way, though the ultimate grounds like birds progress through the sky of the nominant, even expositors who are superiors cannot describe the mode of progress in the way that superiors themselves experience it. Thus, listeners cannot hear about the grounds the way they are perceived. Okay, so yeah, okay. Okay, so the 10 ultimate grounds, okay. The 10 ultimate grounds are not, differentiated from the viewpoint of having different objects of observation, and also having different aspects, okay, because all of them are similar in directly realizing emptiness, okay, without relying on mediation, okay. So therefore, these 10 ultimate grounds are not differentiated in terms of variation of the observed object and their aspect, okay. Now I think see here now presentation of the individual grounds. This section has 3 parts: the 5 grounds, the very joyful and so forth, the 6th ground, the manifest, the 4 grounds, and the 4 grounds, the gone, afar, and so forth. 5 grounds, the joy, the 5 grounds, the very joyful and so forth, okay. The 5 grounds, the very joyful and so forth has 5 parts. So this is the section. Division is 5 grounds, the very joyful and so forth has, the 5 grounds, okay, I think the 5 grounds, the very joyful and so forth is the division, okay. The 5 grounds, the very joyful and so forth has 5 parts, okay, it has 5 parts, 5 divisions. The first ground, the very joyful. The second, the stainless. The third, the luminous. The fourth, the radiant. The fifth, the difficult to overcome. Okay. The first ground, the very joyful. This section has 3 parts: entity of the ground being qualified, described in brief, features qualifying the ground in detail, and conclusion by way of expressing the features of the ground. Entity of the ground being qualified, described in brief. Okay. Okay, this is the section. Okay. Chandrakirti's root says. Okay. Chandrakirti's root text says, the mind of a child of a conqueror, overpowered with compassion to liberate transmigrators, intensely dedicated with Samadhi Bhadra's aspirations and abiding in joy, is called the first. When a conqueror child abides on the first ground, his mind apprehends absence of inherent existence in the manner explained above as a special feature of transmigrators who are the objects observed by his compassion. His mind has been influenced by great compassion for the purpose of liberating transmigrators, and his virtues are thoroughly dedicated with the aspirational prayers of the Bodhisattva Superiors. This ultimate mind of a Bodhisattva abiding in the non-dualistic wisdom called the very joyful and illustrated, and illustrated by the number of qualities and so forth that are its effects is called the first supermundane mind. Now the 10 innumerable 100,000 of prayer petitions planted by a first grounder, such as the 10 great petitions in the Sutra on the 10 grounds, are included in Samantabhadra's aspirational prayers, to which Chandrakirti refers in his root text in order to include all such prayers. These are the aspirational prayers for auspicious deeds. And among them, 2 stanzas are set by Shantideva in his compendium of instructions to be unsurpassed dedications. This is that I dedicate all these virtues to my training in accordance with the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise of Samantabhadra as well. The dedications so highly pressed by all the conquerors of the 3 times to auspicious deeds, I dedicate in all ways these rules of virtue. So this is a very common dedication we all do frequently. This has two verses, 8 lines in Tibetan. It is a dedication that I am dedicating one's own virtuous all of one's own virtuous activities that has accumulated in the past. That had been accumulated in the past, and that will be accumulated, that are being accumulated. So you are dedicating all of your virtues of 3 times in accordance with the wishes of Manjushri and Samantabhadra. And also the Buddhas of 3 times. So this is I think so here the unsurpassed dedication. These stanzas, 8 stanzas are considered to be unsurpassed dedications. So now Chandrakirti's commentary says that just as hearers on the path of preparation are not said to be approaching the first fruit of a stream enterer. So the great of the great bodhisattvas, practicing with belief, who are just about to become first grounders, okay, are on a level where the mind of enlightenment has not yet been generated. Okay, so here, okay, hearers on the path of preparation are not said to be approaching to the Chandrakirti's commentary says that just as hearers on the path of preparation are not said to be approaching the first fruit of a stream enterer, okay, means that I think I will just go over. So the great, Chandrakirti is referred to the non-generation of the ultimate mind of enlightenment. Okay. Here, I think we are here. Okay. So the great bodhisattvas practicing with belief, who are just about to become first grounders, are on a level where the mind of enlightenment has not yet generated. Chandrakirti is referring to the non-generation of an ultimate mind of enlightenment. Okay, here, the mind of enlightenment. Okay, now. Okay, is this clear? Chandrakirti's commentary says that just as hearers on the path of preparation are not said to be approaching the first fruit of a stream enterer, so the great of the great bodhisattvas practicing with belief, who are just about to become first grounders, are on a level where the mind of enlightenment has not yet been generated. Okay, this is in Chandrakirti's auto commentary. Okay, so Chandrakirti said, okay, says that bodhisattvas who are on the path of preparation, okay, who are on the path of supreme, I think, the great supreme of the preparation path, okay. They are just about to become, they haven't, okay. Chandrakirti says here, okay, in his auto commentary, okay. In his auto commentary, he says here, where the mind of enlightenment has not yet been generated. Okay, this is his word. Okay. So this passage, when he says this, okay, this doesn't mean that bodhisattvas who are abiding in the great supreme quality of preparation, okay, do not have, I think, have not achieved the mind of enlightenment. Okay. So therefore, what he does mean is that those bodhisattvas who are abiding in the great supreme quality of preparation path, okay, what is have not, I think, have not achieved, okay, the ultimate mind of enlightenment. Okay, this is what he means. Okay, so here Chandrakirti is referring to the non-generation of an ultimate mind of enlightenment. It has already been explained. that in general the aspiration to highest enlightenment has been even before this time, and that such persons are also accepted by this system as Bodhisattvas. In his compendium of instructions, Shantideva also establishes through many sutras that ordinary beings can generate a mind of enlightenment. Therefore, the assertion of that are imputed Bodhisattva is wrong. Okay, now here, okay, in his compendium of knowledge, okay, in his compendium of knowledge, Asanga, okay, Asanga explains that when one becomes a hearer on the path of preparation, who will, no, this is a footnote, okay. Here, Asanga explains that when one becomes a hearer on the path of preparation, in a single session, okay, in a single session, and until one attends, okay, the first fruit, one is an approacher to the fruit of stream enter. Okay, so I go here. Therefore, Chandrakirti's exam is not established. If you say that, okay. Response is that Vasubandhu's treasure of manifest knowledge explains that those approaching the fruit of stream enter have attained a superior path. However, Asanga said, compendium of knowledge does agree with that. Agree with the objector. Okay. These two discordant systems arose, and the master of Chandrakirti is in agreement with the treasure of manifest knowledge. This accords with Nagarjuna's compendium of Sutra, where it is said that giving one meal for one day to a follower of doctrine, doctrine generates immeasurably greater merit than giving 100 divine tests of food and divine clothing each day. For as many eons as there are sands in the banks of the Gangas, to as many followers of faith as there are particles in the realms of the world. Furthermore, giving one meal for one day to a person on the 8th level, so there's a comparison. Okay, these are comparisons. Okay. Further, giving one meal for one day to a person on the 8th level generates immeasurably greater merit than giving as before to as many followers of a doctrine as described above. Okay. So, okay, this is, I think, clear. Okay. Therefore, a person on the 8th level is on the path of seeing. Okay. A superior path. Okay. So here, okay, it is distinctively mentioned here. Okay. This sutra. Okay. Okay, now I think okay. Now so on the 8th level, okay, here 8th level should be a superior being, okay, because here the followers of faith and doctrine are clearly on the path of accumulation, okay, and preparation. So the followers of faith and doctrine are clearly on the path of accumulation and preparation, okay. Okay. So here, okay, now, okay. So this is a comparison, okay. Giving, okay. I think helping or giving, I think. Giving, I think giving food here, okay. And clothing, true. True, I think. To the followers of faith who are on the path of accumulation as well as preparation, okay. Okay, so okay, now I think giving, okay, so compared to this, okay, compared to giving food and clothing each day for as many eons as there are cents in the banks. I mean, this is very true. As each day for as many eons as there are cents in the banks of the Gangas to as many followers of the faith is so huge. Okay, so so compared to this, or compared to, I think here the compared to giving food and clothing each day for many eons to the followers of faith, the followers of faith who are on the path of accumulation and also on the preparation. Okay, giving one meal for one day to persons, I think on the 8th level generates much more merit. Okay, so this is what Nagarjuna conveys here. Okay, this should make sense, I think. Okay, I usually treat this, how to say, instruction very, how to say, I mean, very seriously, maybe. quite seriously, I think. I mean, okay. So if you have some questions regarding this later on, we will discuss this, okay? So I will go. I will continue. Okay. Now, features qualifying the first ground in detail. This section has 3 parts. Features beautify one's own continuum, those outshine others' continuums, and the surpassing feature on the first ground. Feature beautify one's own continuum has 2 parts, individual features and features in brief. Individual features beautify one's own continuum on the first ground has 3 parts. Okay, the feature of attaining a meaningful name, 4 features of birth in the lineage and so forth, and 3 of advancing to higher grounds and so forth. Chandrakriti's root text says, okay, now the feature of attaining a meaningful name on the first ground. Okay, Chandrakriti's root text says, then having thus attained that mind, he is called a Bodhisattva. From the time of entering the first ground, the Bodhisattva, because of having attained the ultimate mind, is called an ultimate Bodhisattva. Once having passed beyond the level of an ordinary being, he should not be called. Okay, he should not be called by any other name discordant with this term, because he has become a Bodhisattva superior. The Cloud of Jewels Sutra, which Chandrakriti quotes in his commentary, says, one having the great supreme qualities of the path of preparation has not attained the ground of an ultimate Bodhisattva. Therefore, it is not that Therefore, it is known that one is called a Bodhisattva with the qualification ultimate. Okay. One having the great supreme qualities of the path of preparation has not attained the Buddha, attained the ground of an ultimate Bodhisattva. Thereby, it is known that on the first ground, one is called a Bodhisattva with the qualification ultimate. Okay. The 2,500 Standards Professional Wisdom Sutra says, in what way does he know all phenomena as non-arising, non-produced, and false, not in accordance with the imputations by or findings of childish common beings. Therefore, he is called a Bodhisattva. This implicitly indicates that one who understands the suchness of phenomena in the way that a superior does is called a Bodhisattva. This also refers to an ultimate Bodhisattva, okay, and does not indicate that among common beings there are no qualified Bodhisattvas. Now, the second one, four features of birth in the lineage and so forth on the first ground. Chandrakirti root text says, born in the one gone thus lineage, he completely forsakes the three links. The Bodhisattva attains an excellent joy and can vibrate 100-volt systems. He is born into the lineage of the ones gone thus, because abiding on the first ground, he has passed beyond all levels of ordinary beings, hearers and solitary realizers, and has generated in his continuum the paths set into proceed to Buddhahood. He will not go to other paths and is of definite lineage with respect to his own. Okay. So here, okay. Now this is, I think, the Bodhisattva, okay, here. Born into the lineage of the ones gone thus, on to the lineage of Buddha. Okay. Born into the lineage of the Buddha. Because abiding on the, here, okay, even, okay, we can say that even Bodhisattvas who are Bodhisattva, common being, even common being Bodhisattvas, Bodhisattva common beings, I mean, even Bodhisattva common beings are or have been, I think, are, yeah, even Bodhisattva, even, I mean, Bodhisattva common beings have been born into the lineage of Buddhas, okay? So here, why? So therefore, born into the lineage of the ones gone thus is not distinct feature or uncommon feature of the superior Bodhisattva superiors. Okay. So here, okay, because abiding on the first ground, he has passed beyond all levels of ordinary beings. Hearers and solitary realizers, and has generated in his continuum the paths certain to proceed to. So certain, okay, here, yes, here the Bodhisattvas who are on the first ground have generated okay, the quality that determines I think, that determines they will not, okay, deviate from their Mayani pursuit. Up to the Buddhahood, until the Buddhahood, okay. They will not deviate from their Mayani pursuit until they achieve Buddhahood. Okay. So likewise, I think when I said this, if they, in the case of Hinayana, okay, in the case of I think hearers and solitary realizers, okay. If in the case of solitary realizers and hearers, okay, if hearer superiors, okay, and also solitary realizer superiors, okay, all of them are also, how to say, on their own, all of them are their own path, okay, which determines them that they will not, how to say, they will not pursue any other path pursue any other path until they achieve nirvana. Okay. So there are some cases that the hearer superiors, okay, can, how to say, hearer superiors, okay, the learners, I think, hearer superiors, like stream enterers, I think, stream enterers, okay, with the case of stream enterers, okay, stream enterers can also sometimes, okay, sometimes, yeah, in some cases, stream enterers before, in some cases of stream enterers, they will achieve, okay, they will achieve. No, they will how to say, change their course of path even before they achieve nirvana. Okay, that is, they would, how to say, they would, how to say, that is that they will, I think, they will, how to say, embark on the path of solitary realizer. Okay, so the path, yeah, they will embark. They will enter, I think, solitary realizer's path, and then afterwards they will achieve nirvana. Okay, solitary realizers, the nirvana belonging to solitary realizer. Okay, so therefore, if anyone, okay, be the hearer superior or solitary realizer superior, okay, before they achieve, okay, nirvana, okay, they will not, there's no any possibility for them to, how to say, to join, I think, Mayana or Mayanic. Yeah, Mayana, okay. So therefore, it is said that determined here, okay, or path certain to process to Buddhahood. Okay, here in this case, if a such and such Bodhisattva is on a superior path, Bodhisattva superior path, they are determined, or they are determined, or they are certain that they will not deviate from their own their own causal how to say path to that of Hinayanas. Okay. Oh yeah. So okay, superior. Okay, Bodhisattva superior being. With the case of Bodhisattva superior being, there's no any how to say possibility where they will how to say they will how to say enter, where they would enter Hinayana path. Okay, and Buddhism, and okay, and they are how to say they are determined, or they are it is certain for them, okay, they will not how to say deviate from the their Mayanic causal Mayanic stages of path. Okay, they will not, okay, Bodhisattva, okay, superiors, Bodhisattva, in the case of Bodhisattva superiors, they will not, once you achieve, okay, superior ground, or once you achieve joyful ground and so forth, there's no any possibility that you will deviate from your own course of your own, how to say, your own path, I think. And yeah, and okay, your own, to deviate from your own path, and there's no any possibility that you would join to enter, that you would enter, I think, Hinayana path, okay, until you achieve Buddhahood, okay. So this is here, okay. Once you have achieved first ground, you achieved. You have achieved, I think, the path that is certain to proceed to Buddhahood. He will not go to other paths, and is of determinant, is of definite, I think, definite lineage with respect to his own path. Okay, definite, okay. Oh yeah, he will not go to other paths and is of definite lineage with respect to his own path. This first ground, Bodhisattva directly sees person's selflessness, that a person does not exist of his own nature. Thereby he abandons all three links, okay. All three links means all three affect emotions. the artificial view of the transitory, the afflicted doubt and holding bad ethics and cause of behavior as superior. He abandons them in the sense that they will not arise again, meaning that the seeds of these three are abandoned. The path of seeing abandons the artificial but not the innate form of the view of the transitory collection. Okay, so I think it's time for the questions, maybe.
Are there any questions from the Abbey? Okay.
Geshe, isn't it the case that, hi, can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
Can you
I
hear?
can.
Oh,
Yes,
isn't
yes,
it?
that's good.
Huh? Sorry. So isn't it the case that the Bodhisattva will not lose their bodhicitta and fall to the Hinayana path from the middle level of the path of accumulation?
Oh yes, that's right. But here, yes, that's right. But here, the Rangamdo, okay, yes, middle level, yes, that's right. But here, this is the special quality, unique one, okay. Unique, much better than that. Mm. Mm.
Should we go on to the next question?
Well, are you gonna explain more about that?
Oh, oh yeah. I see. Given that, okay. See here, given that, I think he or she has accumulated or have been accustomed to the accustomed to, I think, practices of six perfections for many eons. Okay. And yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I think for many years. So therefore, once he or she attains first Bodhisattva Bhumi, okay, or superior Bhumi, okay, ground. How to say that? He or she, okay. How to say? Attains, I think, some more, I think, confidence and certainty, I think, that he or she will not fall to Hinayana path. Yeah, I think that would be the answer, I think. Okay. See, okay. Yeah, okay.
So is there
Okay.
another question from the Abbey? If not, there's a few online. Okay, so Geshe La, if you go to the Q&A box
Yes.
and the answer tab, there's a question there. And it says, does ultimate mind generation refer to direct realization of emptiness? If yes, does that mean the strength of the direct realization of emptiness differs on the different grounds?
Is ultimate mind generation refers to the direct realization of emptiness? Is that it? Is here, okay. Is emptiness is ultimate mind generation refers to direct realization of emptiness? No, I can't hear.
That's the question. Is ultimate mind generation referring to the direct realization of emptiness?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes. Okay.
And then if so, does it mean that the strength of the direct realization of emptiness differs on the different grounds?
Strength of the, oh, yeah, yes, you can say. Strength, yes. Yes.
Okay. And then another question. So if the grounds are the realization of emptiness, how then do they have these other qualities of, like, I'm just trying to understand how, if we're saying that the grounds are the wisdom realizing emptiness, but then they have these other qualities of manifesting the 12 things, then it seems like the mind is not just the realization of emptiness. I'm not quite sure if we're defining the grounds as the wisdom realizing emptiness, then how do these other qualities also be defining these different grounds? I'm not sure of the relationship here.
Oh, yeah, this. Yeah, these many qualities, okay. What, yes.
Do you understand my question?
1200. Yeah, I think. Yeah. It is not. Yeah. How do you say the wisdom? I think this is the subsequent. We have subsequent wisdom. Okay, and also many. Yeah. See. For instance, okay, we say. 1,200 qualities. Okay. Bodhisattva, who is on the first ground, has attained 1,200 qualities, or 1,200 features. Okay. See. So these are okay. These how to say the features, or these features, okay, are attained during the subsequent during the subsequent wisdom, okay, or attained by the I think it would be called attained by the subsequent wisdom, okay. The first, okay, the non-interrupting, I think, wisdom, what is that? The first, okay, the wisdom realizing emptiness, the first moment of wisdom realizing emptiness is non-interruption, I think, non-interruption path, okay. And then after that, what is that? the wisdom realizing emptiness, which is freed from, I think, obstructions that are to be abandoned by the non-interruption path. Okay, so these order, the first order, non-interruption path, and then I think in the same continuum, okay, the wisdom realizing emptiness, which is freed, or which is freed from the obstructions. There is obstructions obstructions that are to be, I think, abandoned by this, non-interruption path. Okay, so after that, okay, when Bodhisattva was on the first ground, arise from I think this meditative equipoise. He will, I think, he will, after that, he will achieve, I think, those qualities, 1,200 qualities. Yeah, these are all achieved when they are in subsequent, when they are in, I think, when they are on subsequent path, I think. So therefore, the first bhumi, the first ground is included. Not included, I think. Wisdom, meditative equipoise, not only that, but also conventional bodhicitta, compassion, 6 perfections, and 4 amazings, okay, and many different concentrations, many different concentrations, okay. So first ground is not limited to just meditative equipoise, the wisdom, meditative equipoise of emptiness.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so there's another question
So-
online. Oh,
Hmm?
with your answer.
Hmm?
So can we go on to the next question?
On on Bodhisattva of the first ground, this is said, Bodhisattva abiding in the non-dualist wisdom called the very joyful. Oh, non-dualist, okay, oh, I see. Here, non-dualist, okay, non-dualist wisdom, okay, here, okay, there's no any, here, this is, I think, non-dualist here means that there's no any conventional appearance to this wisdom, okay. Non-dualist wisdom means the wisdom non-dualist wisdom, okay, non-dualist wisdom means that non-dualist wisdom is, ultimate mind of bodhicitta is non-dualist wisdom, okay. So ultimate mind of bodhicitta is a non-dualist wisdom. So there's no any, how to say, appearance of conventional phenomena, and there's no any appearance of duality between subject, duality of subject and object to non-dualistic wisdom. So therefore, Non-dualistic wisdom means wisdom directly realizing emptiness, to which there is no any conventional appearance. There's no any appearance of conventional phenomena, and also there's no any appearance of subject and object duality.
On page 31, quote, there's a quote. This refers to the lack of dualistic appearance of object and subject as if distant and cut off from each other. Does this mean the object and subject still appear as two entities?
In the case of non-dualistic wisdom, you mean?
So it refers to page 31 of the text that we have.
Okay.
Okay, so the part that before is in his commentary, Chandrakirti says that the first ground is called non-dualistic wisdom. This refers to the lack of a dualistic appearance of object and subject as if distant and cut off from each other.
Oh, yes.
And the question is, does this mean the object and subject still appear as two entities?
Still appears two entities, two non-dualistic wisdom, you mean? Appears to whom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, subject and object do not appear as two entities to the non-dualistic wisdom. Okay, the subject and object do not appear as two entities. Okay, as two entities to non-dualistic wisdom. So all the appearance of duality ceased. All the appearance of duality ceased. Have been ceased, I think, have been ceased. When non-dualistic wisdom is actualized. Yeah. Okay.